welcome back to Dinner and a Show. I'm Brian.
Tanner.
We did a double feature of the great, legendary, God rest his soul, Wes Craven.
Yeah.
So we did two of his, two famous movies of his. One of them is the famous Nightmare on Elm Street.
That wasn't one of his first, but it was definitely the movie that made him strike gold, and it got him more work. He became this big thing. He was like a monster.
And then, of course, the horror satire Scream.
Yeah, which I heard that Wes wanted to make mainly after one of his fans came up to him and said, I love Last House Left. You should do something that really kicks ass again. And Wes Craven said, I must be going soft. Okay, I'll make Scream. and it works, apparently. This movie became a monster hit in 1996 when it came out.
That had a body count.
Spawned 3 sequels, and now it's a TV series.
We have, for dinner,
We have chips. That's
we
all I
got
can
chips.
say. And the physicists, no sponsors.
And no sponsor, yeah, for real sugar, soda, cola time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also we had some Orville popcorn, also not a sponsor, but it's all good. Go have some, and
Yeah, I like this pop-up bowl thing that they have. You put it in the microwave and it just blows up.
It's very convenient. Just becomes a little bowl for you to eat. So, hey, go ahead and buy it. We're not a sponsor, but it's good. I've watched Scream before, twice before watching this, and it's kind of like my annual Halloween movie to watch.
I've seen this movie many times before. It's just a lot of fun to watch. It's very clever, very hip, scary, which is a critical blurb here. What can I say about this movie that people haven't already?
Nightmare on Elm Street was my first time. My first time watching it. I know it's you guys probably think I'm just a terrible movie reviewer not watching all these movies, but I never really watched horror movies as a kid or just growing up. It's just so I'm just trying to catch up on all these movies, and Nightmare on Elm Street was one that I really wanted to watch because it's a classic. Nightmare on Elm Street was a lot of fun. I thought it was, now for the horror aspect of it, I wasn't really scared. Kind of the same aspect as Halloween. Not as many tropes as Halloween kind of established. I thought it was more of a kind of a monster confrontation movie. There's a final act where the main character Nancy tries to take on Freddy. Mm-hmm. And so that was really cool.
It's pretty much one of those slasher movies, but with the supernatural aspect to it. In which case, it's a pretty chilling thought. The slasher can get you in your dreams.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, definitely a very chilling, story, and just scary in the sense we love sleep, and so what does this monster do?
Yeah,
attack you at your weakest moment when you're asleep.
You feel like you need to sleep.
Yeah.
And
so we're kind of terrified.
The act of sleeping can probably kill you.
Yeah, we're kind of terrified for Nancy that whenever she falls asleep, she's gonna die, and we're just oh.
And then the thing that happens with Johnny Depp when he sleeps. By the way, this is Johnny Depp's first movie.
It is.
Fun fact, he was actually accompanying a friend to an audition for this movie. That friend was Jackie Earle Haley, who went on to play Freddy in the remake.
I actually really enjoyed the characters for Nightmare on Elm Street. I think a lot of them were not jerks.
Yeah, they were likable.
Yeah, especially, Nancy. It's she's going a little crazy because no one's going to believe her, but what do you expect, The girl hasn't had much sleep. And no one believes her because everyone thinks she's crazy.
Yeah, by the end of the movie, you just want everyone to just shut up, get a clue, believe her already, because all this crazy stuff's going down. The father, who's a police lieutenant, is amazingly slow to catch on that there's something going on in the house across the street. He should be looking after his daughter, and it's just
a bit.
And the mother's no help. She's an alcoholic. She's clearly inebriated throughout many
of
her
scenes.
Scenes.
And she knows about Freddy in some aspect. I was just
But she wants to put that behind her. She wants to shield her daughter from the pain. I don't like A Nightmare on Elm Street as much as I know a lot of people do. I know it's known as this big horror classic. I think what sort of bogs the film down just a little bit for me is that in the dream world, they don't establish that many rules of logic. You're not exactly sure. I get that you're not supposed to know what's a dream and what's real, but there should be some sort of limitation so that I can get more into it. I know a lot of people probably ignore that little thing. But
yeah, they seem to kind of like bend the rules a bit, to what the movie demands.
So by the time it got to the ending, which even today I don't really understand, I was just a little...
Freddy Krueger convertible.
Did you get the ending?
I did not get the ending.
It's
like Inception, except it went horribly wrong.
I saw this movie, I've known this movie, since I was 12. I've seen it many times since then. I still don't understand the ending. I don't think the acting is that good. I'm sorry, I know you that you may differ with me on this, but Heather Langenkamp as Nancy, I felt was kind of stilted, a little bland, kind of awkward. I mean, she can scream, I can give you that. She's kind of likable, but I don't know. There's just
I thought she did a good enough job to be likable and to convince me that she was in peril and that the danger was real. And sure, she was a little overdramatic at a few points. But I wouldn't say bad.
You know what? I don't know how many people watch our channel, but by the time we get many subscribers and many viewers, you're gonna hate me for saying this. I didn't think Johnny Depp was that charismatic in this movie. There, I said it.
He wasn't that good until maybe a few years later, because people liked him in Edward Scissorhands.
And 21 Jump Street.
And 21 Jump Street.
Freddy Krueger, or Fred Krueger, sorry. Scary here, very chilling. He's just this really sleazy psychopath who's coming out to get these kids in their dreams, and he's got these limitless powers. He can stretch his arms out. He can tear through walls.
Basically, your worst nightmare.
This is also when you have Freddy Krueger, when he was actually a legitimate threat and really frightening. I mean, I'm not saying that he wasn't in the other movies, but in the other movies they played up more the clown aspect of Freddy. They give him all the one-liners. They have him running and jumping around, pretty much like a Jim Carrey's the Riddler from Batman Forever.
The first Nightmare on Elm Street wasn't a walk in the park, violence-wise. Good night.
No.
It's totally
Johnny Depp's
gory.
Death.
Yeah, Johnny Depp's death was very disturbing. I've seen it in a trailer before, but good night. It still kind of shook me up a bit. Tina, yeah, her death was very gross as well.
She was kind of established as the main character at first.
But if you are into the rules of horror movies, towards the beginning of the film, you're like, oh, yeah, she's gonna die.
And speaking of rules in horror movies, let's talk about Scream.
Scream, yeah. Scream, now, I have a lot of fun watching that. That was more of a satirical horror movie detective with a detective twist to it. Or like Clue. You know what? It's kind of like Clue.
Yeah,
to me, with the horror aspect.
It's a very clever whodunit. They establish all these characters, they give them all personalities, they make them all appealing. Well, most of them appealing. I don't like Tatum. I hate Tatum.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rose McGowan. You're a very attractive woman. I didn't like you in Scream. But
he said it, not me. I think you look like Amanda Seyfried in there.
He said it, not me.
I said it. I remember my first time watching it, I was trying to figure out who the heck is the killer.
It keeps you guessing. It gives these characters these certain suspicions that may make you think, maybe it's this person. No, maybe it's this person. Maybe that person.
And they drop clues,
that person was too late to this location. This person, wait a minute, she was supposed to be here. She wasn't. Wait, hold on.
There's someone's car. They're not. What? They were supposed to be going on a trip. Where?
And and this was. Yeah, this was also a time when cell phones weren't very common, and so that
think 1996.
That scene where she's being attacked by the killer, and all of a sudden her boyfriend comes along, and all of a sudden his cell phone falls out of his pocket. That would have been a very, very upsetting scene, for the time. But now we have cell phones, and we've gotten a major upgrade, to say the absolute least. 20 years later,
I can go on my phone and see what the area code is, what the number is, what city it's from. Usually, unless it's a restricted number.
And of course, the main thing about Scream is that all the characters in this movie have seen other horror movies.
Oh yeah,
they talk about other horror movies. They make fun of the things that are going on in this horror movie.
Oh yeah, and that's what I love about the satire of it. It's it's making fun of itself while still being a genuinely scary movie, or at least suspenseful movie.
Scream was the first one that made it more popular because it went all out with the satirical elements.
Yeah, it went totally.
It was telling its own scary story, but at the same time, it was laced with self-aware commentary.
Yeah, if you're a movie buff, especially a horror movie buff, you will love Scream.
Enjoy this movie.
And probably all of its sequels. The Fonz's in it.
Which, by the way, I did not notice in that closet in the principal's office. There's a black leather jacket. Is it trying to insinuate that this is actually Arthur Fonzarelli in disguise?
There are a ton of Easter eggs in this movie.
Wes
Craven.
Wes Craven himself. He has a cameo as janitor. He's got a Freddy Krueger sweatshirt on. He's called Fred.
With the hat. Oh gosh. I don't remember my first time watching it. It's like I said, at the time I didn't watch a whole lot of horror movies, but I at least knew a lot of what they were talking about. You know, popular enough movies, and then I got a lot of references in there. So I mean, it's still relatable.
Roger Ebert has a quote that I love. When he reviewed this movie on his show, Siskel and Ebert, the characters in this movie were not making the same dumb horror movie mistakes. No, they're making new stupid mistakes.
There you go. They did. It was funny because Sydney basically called herself out.
Yeah, because later she says that I watch horror films because they always show these big-breasted girls who are really stupid, and they always run out they run up the stairs instead of going out the front door. And then what happens? She can't get through the front door when there's a killer attacking her. So what does she do? She runs up the stairs. But the absolute best part of satire is when Jamie Kennedy's character Randy, the movie geek, he's watching Halloween. He's advising Jamie Lee Curtis, don't do this, don't do that. Look behind you, Jamie, look behind you.
And guess who's behind him?
The killer. He should follow his own advice.
There's going to be things that don't make sense in there. It's like, there's a scene where Sydney and her best friend go shopping at a grocery store. And then they leave the shot, and then you see in the reflection the killer. And you're
like in the costume and everything. Why?
You're what the heck is he doing there in his costume in broad daylight where people see it? You're an idiot.
How did the killer not sustain any injuries from falling down so much during his attacks?
You think that certain injuries on the revealed killers later on, it's really? You walked away without a black eye? Or...
But dude, that would be so much fun though. If the person realized this and was looking for a boy or a girl or a man or a woman with a broken nose or something. This movie also explained the rules of surviving a horror film, which since then have probably changed nowadays because really the new twist of horror genres is to mainly change the rules. Because people are becoming more savvy. They don't want the same thing over and over again. Even though the studios will try to give us the same thing over and over again, we sometimes they will listen and give us more than what we ask for, which is really clever. Because if we keep asking for the same thing over and over, we're gonna get tired of it. And so they give us more material to work from.
2016 has been a good year.
Then we can satirize whatever is new that they give us.
I reviewed on my blog Scream before.
Oh yeah?
And I forget what I gave it, but you know what? I'm going to give it a secret handshake, even if I didn't on my blog, just because I had so much fun watching that movie. It's funny, but also suspenseful, and while making fun of itself, or its own genre. Now for Nightmare on Elm Street, I'll give a high five, because it was also fun. Mysterious, because they're trying to find out, who the killer is, and discover who he is, and how they can defeat him. And that's a lot of fun, seeing how they can outwit him. And I'll give Nancy credit for doing her best. I will give that a high five.
Okay. I give Scream a high five. Sometimes it's a little too savvy for its own good, but overall, I really admire the screenplay and how self-aware it was, and how it cleverly tried to mix the the two really well, trying to mix the self-aware stuff with the horrific stuff, and I thought it blended really well. It was nice to have done it. It's just still fun to watch. I give Nightmare on Elm Street a wave. I don't hate it. I like it. I'm just not crazy about it. That's all.
So I gave these movies a higher rating than you did.
Yeah, and I'm really proud of you, because you gave Scream a secret handshake. Even though you already described its flaws, that's pretty much the same way with me when I rated Halloween and Psycho. So I'm proud of you.
Yeah, no film is perfect.
Yeah.
Every film has their sin, but it was still a ton of fun to watch.
We call ourselves critics, and yet we let our emotions take over.
Yeah, I think everyone does that a bit. We hope you like this video. Be sure to subscribe. We definitely welcome that. We love doing this for you guys. And share with your friends. Mm-hmm. And I'm Brian.
I'm Tanner.
And we will see you next time. And stay awake. Don't fall asleep.
Rest in peace, Wes Craven.